Biggest target? Kids under 5. Kids have 5 times the financial risk over an adult. Overall, the identity theft areas, 51 times greater. It's considered to be the newest form of child abuse. Child identity theft, according to the 2014 reports, had a 35% increase. The young and even the unborn are being affected. Baby identity theft, a predictable number that allows the theft before the birth. How can this be? Check out this news report and see for yourself.
This morning on Today Investigates, the new twist on an old crime. Identity thieves now targeting babies. NBC's Jeff Lawson is here with information parents really need to know. Jeff, good morning.
Yeah, this is an important one, Ann. Good morning to you. I know your kids are in high school now, and so they're a little older for this, but for a lot of us younger parents, the question you have to ask yourself, when was the last time you checked your child's credit report? I know I haven't. I have 2 little girls. And the crooks know it. Now they're so advanced, they can actually steal your baby's social security number before they're even born, racking up millions in debt. This morning, we track down the alleged thieves and show you exactly how they do it. Egan is only 2 years old, but already owes thousands in credit card debt and has declared bankruptcy.
You think this must be a joke, and then you realize, no, this is actually incredibly serious.
9-year-old Riley is in default on utility bills. Her social was stolen 11 years before she was even born.
As a mother, I was shocked and angry and violated.
Katie was only 3 years old when crooks stole her identity. Now, as a teenager, her credit report shows over $750,000 in debt, all at the hands of ID thieves. A scary thought for a young girl.
I mean that because it is illegal, they should be in jail.
But they're not. In fact, we found 2 men using her identity, living free. How did you get her social security number? You don't want to talk? This guy works at an auto body shop just miles from Katie's house, and we tracked another one. According to the credit bureau, you're an identity thief. Working at a local 99-cent store, a leading credit bureau says both these men stole Katie's social security number to take out mortgages and auto loans.
It's not fair.
But they're still out there.
Mm-hmm.
Our Today investigation discovered thousands of young victims. Why are babies' identities in particular so attractive to these thieves?
It's a blank check for these criminals. The child doesn't realize that they have a problem until they start using their credit.
And that may not happen until your child is 18, applying for their first loan or credit card, giving thieves free rein with their identities for years.
Never in my wildest dreams had I thought to run a credit check on my son, and what parent would run a credit check on their child? He's in diapers, he's crawling.
Stealing their socials is easier than you think. That number is actually a code. The first 3 digits stand for the state it was issued in. The last 6 digits stand for the approximate date it was issued, a clue to the person's birthday. Now, using simple software, crooks can actually predict kids' numbers, meaning when your newborn gets their number at the hospital, it may already be stolen, which is exactly what happened to Riley. Her mom discovered it years later by chance on a family credit check.
The government gave me a bum number that obviously they hadn't cleared. It's a financial birth defect, and the parents aren't warned.
And in many cases, police don't have the time or resources to catch these crooks, leaving parents like Katie's dad out in the cold. In a nutshell, what have the police done for you?
Nothing. It's almost like they don't want to be bothered.
They don't want to be bothered, but we found 2 of the suspects.
Pretty easily.
Hey, how are you? In fact, we found Manuel Contreras in Arizona in just 2 days. Jeff Lawson from NBC News. According to the credit bureau, you've been using a young girl's social security number and getting home loans, racking up nearly $500,000 in debt. How do you respond to that? Me and us. $500,000. Have you been using a young girl's social security number and passing it off as your own?
I don't understand.
So we brought in our translator. You took out a home loan with this young girl's social security number in 2003 for $107,000, 2006 for $153,000, also in 2006 for $238,000. That's against the law.
I know that right now. You are arrested for it? I'll pay you. We'll get. I know that.
I'm not a police officer. I'm just trying to figure out why you did this.
Why I don't see no cops.
That's a good question.
I don't know why you haven't been arrested.
That same day, we surprised another suspected thief.
Hi, Jeff Lawson from NBC News.
Mario Salinas, working in his store parking lot, wrangling grocery carts. The credit bureau says, using Katie's social, he's racked up over 35 grand in debt.
Have you ever used the social
¿Usted
security
ha
number?
usado ese número de seguro social en el pasado?
No, señor.
I've never used it.
According to the credit bureau, you have, and you've
Según-
taken out several auto loans.
Según los buros de crédito, usted ha sacado esos dos préstamos utilizando ese número.
There's a young girl whose credit could have been ruined because
Está
of this.
hostigando.
You have anything to say to her?
I don't know.
You don't know. But authorities know a flaw in the credit system lets them get away with it. When someone applies for, say, a loan, usually the bank only checks that the social security number has a good credit history. Believe it or not, most banks don't check whether that number was assigned to that name because the government charges a fee to do that, and most banks don't want to pay. So thieves can use a child's identity over and over again.
That seems ridiculous.
The system definitely has a gap.
And for parents, cleaning up the mess can take years and haunt your child, ruining their credit as adults.
Do you want to say anything to this young girl's family? You don't want to say anything to them? Are you going to stop using this young girl's social security number? I talked to my lawyer first. I call you, I talk to you. Everything. Okay? Okay. Well, I'll wait for your call. I call you.
We're still waiting.
He's still out there. He's free.
Burns me up. He can walk around living on my child's social and nothing's being done about it.
But there is something you can do about it, a credit check for your kids. It will tell you if anyone else is using their identity. For more information about how to get a free credit check right now for you and your entire family, all you have to do is go to our website, today.com. All the information is right there for you. By the way, the government is trying to make it tougher for thieves. Beginning next month, new social security numbers will be more randomized, making it nearly impossible, Anne, for crooks to predict them. But still, thousands, if not tens of thousands of cases out there right now.
Well, as long as it's going to take to close this gap,
Yeah.
what can parents do if they suspect their children's identities have been stolen?
Right, so if you do that credit check and it comes back that the identity is stolen, really only one thing you can do is immediately put a freeze on your child's credit, so that way it'll prevent any future theft. But it will take years for you to call the credit card companies and the credit bureaus. The burden is on you to prove that your identity has been stolen, and it is a major pain.
It is infuriating, Jeff Lawson. Thank you so much.
Madison, she discovers that she was a victim 10 years earlier when she was just 6 years old. Madison's Social Security number is being held by at least 2 others that she is responsible for in paying the taxes. Check out what her story is and how it's affecting her at just age 16.
If we're honest, most of us are not doing a whole lot about identity theft, so imagine how much more vulnerable our kids are to the crooks. We've discovered children under age 5 are the newest targets, and this is a crime that can ruin our kids' credit before they're even old enough to have credit. It happened at age 6.
It's really scary. Just to think what could happen to me in the future and what it's going to affect.
10 years later, Madison Polanski had no idea what was stolen until this surprising letter arrived a few months ago, saying she owes more than $1,000 in taxes on a $33,000 income.
I haven't really worked that much, and obviously not when I was 6 years old nor 12.
According to the state, Madison's Social Security number also belongs to a Sergio Blandon and a Rodrigo Lopez. Both have been using her Social Security number for employment for years. The child is 51 times more likely to be a victim of identity theft than an adult is, meaning, it is the fastest growing segment of this crime. John Cilio is an identity theft expert. He travels the country as a keynote speaker. He says ID thieves have been targeting kids more because they know the crime goes unnoticed for years. The reason thieves target kids is, number one, they have pristine credit. A recent study of 27,000 children found 10% had their Social Security number tied to mortgages, loans, credit card accounts, and even vehicle registrations. The most targeted group, kids under 5. According to Cilio, thieves are often family members committing friendly fraud. It's where a parent or a relative of the child, maybe they're struggling financially, They use the child's identity to gain credit or to gain a service of some sort.
My daughter's going to be going off to college soon. They told me it could affect her ability to maybe get student loans if it truly has gone on to their credit.
It's scary to know that those might not be as big of an opportunity as they could have been.
All right, some ideas on how to fight this. Beware what you share. Every time you get information on the web, on social media, or any kind of form, it could end up in the wrong hands, so be careful. Also, focus on prevention. Our expert says it's a good idea to sign up for one of those ID theft monitoring services. Those can help with prevention and recover a victim's credit. And be proactive. Our expert says it could take 10 to 15 years.
Disabled and elderly. They too are also targeted. Take a look in this report showing how they're getting access to and taken advantage of.
Police in Henry County are investigating a string of identity theft cases at a local nursing home. Channel 2's Amy Napier-Bateri, live near the facility in Stockbridge, with how patients realized their information had been compromised and why investigators think there could be more victims out there. Amy?
Justin, investigators started hearing from people being treated here at the Laurel Park Rehabilitation Facility regarding phony credit accounts being opened in their name. Police tell us someone working at the facility was targeting patients there, many of them disabled and elderly, and managed to access up to $35,000 worth of credit, all in their names.
That's not right, is it? Nancy Rowell Crane says her mom, Grace Rowell, is totally dependent on her care. The 84-year-old suffers from memory loss and recently fractured a hip. She went to Laurel Park Rehabilitation Center in Stockbridge for treatment. That's where she likely came in contact with this woman, Tawai Collins.
Detectives advised about 8 victims. They believe they were all at that location in Stockbridge receiving some type of rehabilitation or treatment at some point.
Rowell Crane says someone at the facility asked for her mother's insurance information a second time because it was missing from her file. A short time later, letters from credit card companies started showing up at her mother's home, referring to suspicious applications or notices of suspensions on accounts, like this one from the Home Shopping Network, which she says her mom never opened.
It scares me for all the patients because this is a vulnerable population anyway.
A 69-year-old patient at the facility told police someone claiming to be with the insurance company called asking for personal information. After getting fraud alerts on her cell phone, she called her bank, which told her a woman named Tawai Collins was claiming to have access to the patient's account. Rowell Crane got her mom's credit report and noticed a strange McDonough address. Police got a search warrant and arrested Collins there. They also found financial documents and merchandise bought with credit in victims' names. Rowell Crane wants to know why her mom's information wasn't better protected at the facility.
They have yet to reach out to me to even tell me this has occurred. And so I know that there's probably other patients there that have no clue that this is a possibility.
We reached out to Laurel Park as well as their corporate management today, but an administrator told me they could not comment on this. Police say they are working to find out if Collins was in fact operating alone, and they want anyone who's been treated at the facility since June to go back and check their credit records and call police if they see anything suspicious. We're live in Henry County. Amy Napier-Bateri, Channel 2 Action News, Night Beat.
Now let's hope to make some quick progress. Thank you, Amy.
And the dead.